part one of two. We're using, so this fly was developed by Charles Meck from Pennsylvania, Central PA. It's, you know, an attractor pattern, but I've used it, I've done well with it on some streams, slate drakes and March browns. Actually, I was at Kinju Creek one day, I actually did better with this during a March brown hatch than my March brown pattern. So, you know, it's, fish seem to like it. He had put this pattern in one of his books. Mike, you might hatches, patterns and tactics, I think is the name of the book. It's been changed through the years. So we started out, we're doing it today, calf tail. I think eventually he changed it to calf body hair, which is a little finer, straighter, but you know, kind of an attractor pattern, royal wolf, you know, calf tail. Red, white, and blue fly, but today we're just going to work on winging. So let's get started here. This is a size 12. In his book, it called for size 12 to 18, maybe 1x long. Fine. But these TM coats seem to run like just a tad longer than most standard dry fly hooks. We're using a TMCO 100. Really good hook too. It's 1x fine, standard length for TMCO. Let's see. No. Anything? No, that's it. So I've never tied them. I've tied some 16 like a parachute style, but mainly 12, some 14s. If you guys get good at this, you want to try 14s. I got 14 hackle, 14 hooks. So, but right now we're just going to work on the winging. So what I'm going to do first is start the thread behind the hook eye. You know, I like to leave a hook eye's gap between the hook eye, which I didn't. And I'm going to wrap nearly halfway back. And I'm going to come up and run and split that in two and run about halfway back up the base, that thread base I just laid down. So your wings are normally, there's a halfway point. Usually anywhere from 25% to a third, you know, a quarter to a third of the way back from the hook eye is normally on, this is a Catskill style. So, and it matters for the balance of the fly. On this fly here, you know, we got our tail, we've got a 3-segmented body, then we got hackle, wing, hackle. So you got to keep that in mind when you're placing your wing. You know, you don't want to, if you get too far back, you're going to be real tight doing your body. So it's real critical to get this placed right. So what I always think of is, okay, I'm going to have about 3, maybe 4 wraps of hackle in front of this wing. And I got my little space I left of bare hook. So I'm going to hit that right about here. And we're going to use calf tail. So the mount is, we're doing a wing. It's about, if you compress it, it's going to be about the diameter of your bodkins, the bodkin handles. And on these calf tails, you know, the good stuff's near the top. You know, you get down here and it gets real short and real crinkly. So I'm going to guess something. Now, if I don't get enough here, I don't cut it. I look at this and I clean it out. So what I'm going to do to clean this out, this is important. I hold it about a third of the way back and I hold it tight. Then I take my thumbnail and get these little guys out of here. And I'll come back this way and do that and get it nice and clean. I'll take it and I'll look at it. And I'm going to divide it And I think I'm pretty good. I think that's going to make a nice, where is it? Yeah, I don't know. Can you see? Here. Against here? Okay. So now, I like to stack this. Now this is real wavy and crinkly, so it's hard to stack. But we're going to do the best job we can. The first thing I'm going to do, since I got to compress, I'm going to kind of comb it out a little bit. Pull out some of these long guys. There's a good, get that. Now it takes, usually some stuff you get a few taps and everything lined up, but this, like I said, it's wavy. And it's almost like it's tangled together. So you give it, you drive your wife crazy if you're. Now, another important thing. We're going to tie these wings in with the tips over the eye of the hook going forward. So when I take this out, I want to go this way. So I don't have to, the more you change hands with this, the more all of a sudden the tips come uneven. So, I like to get this nice, get in the straight direction. Now, the length of the wing is the length of the hook shank. Always hard to find out where that curve starts. It's usually somewhere near the barb. Okay, so the back of the hooks are out right here. So I'm a little long. Move my fingers up a little bit, and a little more. That right there looks good. Now I've left my thread exactly where the tie-in point for the wing is. And I'm going to put that right in between, that thread right in between my fingers. We're going to take not so tight of a wrap around, is how I do it. 2 wraps, and I pull down. Trying to, wow. Well, I get to do it again. Can you get that? Here is that wasn't too tight. I think it's, thank you. Here's some hackle pliers. I better, hopefully. Well, this thread's been sitting in those boxes for over 10 years. So, all right, let's. This is really old thread. I didn't realize this. We've had this thread since we started tying at the VA, sitting in that box here, and we've used the 140, but this is the 70. The reason I use a 70 is I don't want to bulk up with thread. We got a lot of wraps to do with this wing, and if I use 6/0 or 140, it's going to get real bulky. So let me try that again with this other spool. 1, 2, there we go. And now I'm going to start wrapping back, about 4 or 5 wraps. I'm going to stop and I'm going to pick this up and check how much room I have. Then I'm going to pick this up and say, okay, the reason I go too far, I'm going to slide that up just a little bit. There we go. Now I'm going to torque down, get under here, and right now I'm just going to get a couple wraps and leave that right there. That helps lock that in. In case you didn't get it tight enough, you get a couple wraps underneath that wing, and it'll help lock that into your wraps. Now, the butts. You want to clip at an angle, but not a bit, long, soft angle, but, like a 45. So one way is to come in straight and come in 45 with your scissors, or you can put this at an angle and come in parallel to the hook shank, like I just did. Now we're just gonna, now here's the thing, we're gonna wrap these butts. If we, too much tension, and those butts start popping out from the thread. So you kind of easy to get them nice and wrapped like that. Now I can torque it, tighten them down, come up here, pick that wing up, and we're gonna make a thread dam underneath here. We're gonna try to get that straightened up. If you get some stragglers that come out, don't worry about it. We can clean that up, clip them out. Now let go. It still wants to lean forward a little bit, but that's fine. Yeah, maybe I'll do. We're gonna fix all that. Let's see. Get that one, we'll get that out of here. So if I'm going to check the bottom, yep, everything is on top the hook. Very important. So now, the next thing I'm going to do is divide the wing in two. Take my scissors, take a bodkin, or you can use your thread. Right about there. Spread that out a little bit. Good.
Now, once you get that, if you can rotate the fly towards the camera so they can see the split. There you go.
Yeah, but then I can't see it. Okay, so like I kind of roughly spread this out. I know right about here, I'm gonna, I don't know if that's middle, pretty good. See, I just split it. I'm not under tension, just enough to keep, I just lost it because I looked away. All right, let's do that again. Right about, yeah. There we go. Right here, and you get behind the wing, make a wrap so I don't lose that again. And I actually want to, there we go. I'm going to take a few more from this side, and see what I did is I just took my thread through. I was a little heavy on this side, so I took the thread and grabbed, some off this side and wrapped around just to separate some more on this side. So I'm pretty good right there. I'm going to lock that down. Now, we're still lean forward, but there's ways to take care of that. I'm going to do a figure eight. We've done spinner wings before. I'll do through here, around the back, through this way, around the back. Now I can do some X's. Now I want to get these wings up. Any of you guys have the Fly Tires bench, was it bench side reference? Fly tying bench side reference. It's almost like an encyclopedia for tying. There's a lot of neat little tricks in there. So what I'm going to do with this, first thing is we're going to get these wings where I want them, 45 up. I take two soft wraps around my near wing, then I pull back, make a wrap around and lock it. Now I'm going to come around here, do two wraps, let the thread slide to the base of the wing. See how lost it. Let's do that again. 1, 2, good. Pull back. Good. This one needs to come back a little more. I'm just going to come here. And we're done. That's it. So I'm 45. I'm going to actually clip a little bit of these long fibers out. We're here. Now there's another little trick. If you leave a little bit of a square off butt on the back, one trick I learned was take that, run it around the back of the fly, where the butts are. I already wrapped that down. You pull it, you go around there and you pull, and as you pull, that pulls the wing back. Then you lock it. So that's it.
Give me just a little.
Yeah, I know I'm fighting this vice.
There you go. At the top.
And when you're done, let me get this.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me get this up here and tie this off. Again, with this calf tail, you're going to get some stragglers. Don't worry about it. You know, if they're in your way or it's bothering you, clip them. You know, clip them off now. But wow, that's a big one. And I'm just going to actually just put a half hitch on here. And so next class we'll do the rest, but I want to get a bunch of bodies here. And if we had hit cement, I was going to say you could hit this with a dab of glue, since we're not going to use these again until next class. And you glue them; they'll help keep them straight.
Hey, Ken,
Get a.
before you finish, you want to remind them about how to cut the hair off.
Okay, I should have done that. So we're going to do this again. When you cut this, notice when I'm going to go here where this chunky stuff is. If I want this much. One way you could do, you know, to get your bunches together, one trick is to twist it, you know. But when you slide those scissors right up against tight against the hide and clip, and you want to shear that hide off. Here is, especially when we first started in clousers and stuff, deer bucktail streamers. Guys would, let me see if I could get this.
I can back up some.
Yeah, can you? I want to show, where is that? Yeah, you know, it's cut like here. It's cut in steps, right? Like here. Guys can see that? It's here. What happens when you cut it like this? If you use your own bucktail, yeah, go ahead. But if we're sharing, so it's like the next time I want to grab a bunch, I'm going to have these little half pieces stuck in here. So, you know, it's like it was given a haircut, which is fine. But like the next batch, especially here, the bucktail's not as bad, but with this calf tail and other hairs, you're going to come in, and if you got a bunch of half pieces and you're trying to get the right amount cut off the hide, I mean, it's going to be a mess. So like if I want to cut this off the way I cut it, I get done, and I think I got the right amount till I look here, and it's bunch of half cut off pieces. So take your scissors when you're cutting, take it right up against the hide, and it just makes, you know, more manageable next time you want to use hair, fur, bucktail, whatever.
Basically, what
But
it boils down to, there's a right way and a wrong way. And there's only one right way, and that's to take it off the hide. Everything else is wrong. But if
That was
it's your
still a
own
little
materials,
heavier there.
and you wanna do that, that's fine, because it just makes,
My problem is my eyes, when I'm tying, I can't see what I'm doing as much, so
it happens today.
they really, I wish they, I'm a little heavy. And it's the lighting too. I could use a light like right here
Yeah.
for me, but it's
I
okay.
have a question, guys, ladies, anybody need a